layouts, and today I'm going to be using this sketch from Scrapbook Generations. It's actually from Allison Davis when she started her sketch week. This is actually week number 1, and so I think she's like on 14 or 15. She is way up there, but I just love all of the sketches by Scrapbook Generations, and this is one that I've used quite a few times, and I do change it up a little bit, but I love the way that it turned out. I'm going to be using this very old collection from Echo Park titled Jack and Jill, and this was one of those collections that it had a girl collection and a boy collection named the same thing. And so I decided to pull out all of my pieces of paper and trying to figure out what I'm going to use. I am again trying to use more than just white as my background, so I did pull out this gray, but I did decide that I wanted to have like a white border, so I did pull out white cardstock, and I'm going to gut the white cardstock and then cut down the gray so that I have a border. I think it's a 1/4 inch border on 3 sides, and they meet in the middle, so you have to cut it so that it looks like a 12 by 24 canvas. Whenever I do put down paper like this where I have gutted the center, I try to remember this trick where you only adhere one side, and then once you get that down straight, go ahead and adhere the other 3 sides. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. It just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. These photos are of Eli when I went to take him to get his haircut. This is the first haircut he had post-quarantine, and I really wish I would have gotten a before picture because it was pretty long. I did get a picture of all the hair on the floor. There's quite a bit of it. Now he has since grown his hair out, and so it's probably even longer than it was before he got this picture taken, but it's also manageable because of the way we're doing the hair now. Another story for another layout. What I decided to do was pull out this orange piece of paper, and I'm going to lay it down and have these other 2 pieces of paper, the one that has like what looks like the elements on it, but it's more about words for boys. It says things like handsome and active, manly, brave, strong, things like that. And I also use this triangle paper. And so what I did with the orange paper was put it down underneath both of them so that it looks like that orange paper goes all the way behind them. And I probably could have done it with a little bit bigger than a 1/4 inch strip. I don't know why I was trying to save this paper. It's super old. I've used a ton of it already. I love it. I have like 3 or 4 of them because they are such a good boy collection, and they're so hard to find at any point. A generic boy collection is just the hardest thing to find. And whenever I can find one, I do tend to buy 2 or 3 of them just to make sure that I have them for anything that I need. What made me pull out this collection was there is 2 stickers that I can use that have like actual barber stuff on them, and I'll pull those out in just a second. I did go ahead and use the white paper that I gutted from the back as my photo placement for the main photos. So I went ahead and added that to the center there, just like the sketch calls for, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my photos right on top of it. Pulling out my trusty T-square ruler to make sure that I have my photos straight in both left and right side. And then I do add a bigger photo on the right hand side than the sketch calls for. The sketch actually calls for 2 photos that are about the same size, but I just didn't feel like I could cut down that photo on the far right anymore. I do usually print my photos in 4x6 and then just work with it for what I have. Most of the time I can get smaller photos because I do try to take photos where I'm zoomed in really close, and then also photos where I'm zoomed out further so that I could crop it down to those smaller sizes like I did with the photo that's on the far left hand side. So on the far right hand side, I did go ahead and put that photo flat and then popped up the middle photo so that you could see the back of his hair as well. And I did mount all of the photos besides the 3 in the center on orange to bring in more of that orange color. I went ahead and added these 3 little tags over there on the far right hand side that says memories, it's all good and amazing. And I do end up moving those up just a little bit here in just a second. I went ahead and went through the embellishment pack and pulled out elements that I thought I could use. Now I have used this kit before, and I have die cut stars quite a few stars because I know that that is a simple shape that I could use. And so any times that I have like really small scraps, I just go ahead and die cut them in the star shapes so that I don't have to do that each time I do a new layout. So this is where I'm going to go ahead and move those 3 little tags up a little bit so that I can add this bingo card. I wanted to make sure that I added that little bingo card right next to that photo on the far right because he's giving me this like goofy, silly face, and it just works perfect for that little bingo card to be right next to it. Then right below that photo, I added a tag there that says, how did you get so handsome? And I did add that flat to the layout. Over there on the far left-hand side, I did go ahead and add that little sticker. It is up on Fun Foam. It says Barbershop. I thought that that was a perfect fitting for this particular layout, and that's actually what made me decide to use this collection, was that little piece right there. And then there was also another sticker that had 4 gentlemen with a big pair of scissors, so it would look like a sign that you would see at a barbershop. And I went ahead and added that to the far right-hand side. And then I just added a couple other pieces. I added a pocket watch over there to the left. It has nothing to do with the layout, but it's very manly, and I think that this kind of layout is perfect for that. I do go ahead and add 2 tags above my photo on the left-hand side, one orange, one blue. And I realized that I left off the little stripe piece on this white paper that's in the sketch. So I just went ahead and cut it out in this gray and like navy stripe, and it looks really good next to the gray background. Now I could have totally paper pieced it together, but most of the time when I cut my 1/4" strips, I don't ever cut them even. Like I can't cut 4 1/4" strips that are the exact same size. When I line them up on my trimmer, I can do 2 that are the same size and then 2 others that are the same size, but not all 4 are the same size. So I just go with it. One's a little bit thinner, one's a little thicker, and it may waste a little bit of paper, but it's such a small amount. My title is just going to be Snip Snip. All I did was Google haircut layouts and found a title that I thought would work for this layout. I do that quite a bit. No reason to really reinvent the wheel when trying to come up with titles, you know, just pulling them from Pinterest. So I did use some thickers that are like chipboard, and I really like these. They're like gray, and they kind of look like they have a chalk shadow behind them. And then I used the Color Vibe in navy from Simple Stories. And I first started out with just 2 little lines for my journaling over there on the far left hand side, but then realized I needed a little bit more room. I went ahead and made the journaling the length of the 2 photos on the left. So here is my final layout as well as some close-ups. I will link below Allison's post to this sketch support. So she does this where she brings out a sketch and then she brings out like several layouts where she used the sketch, and her sketches are always way beyond anything that I could ever think of. She just has an amazing talent for seeing things outside of the box, and I love that about Allison as well as Scrapbook Generations. So I will link her post. I don't think she has a video. I think it's just a blog post. Either way, whatever I find online, I will link it for you guys below so that you can check out all the other ways that you can use this particular sketch. All right, everyone, if you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layout inspiration, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.